Welcome to the shadows. They say a promise made in the light is often broken in the dark. Four friends, conned brothers, once made a vow that should have lasted a lifetime. But eventually, things began to unfold. This is a tale of greed, a tale of betrayal, and the terrible lingering cost of a soul. This is the cost gem of riches. Pay attention, because the forest is always listening. In a village at the edge of a thick forest, four friends were inseparable. They called themselves the Four. There was Festus, the quiet observer. He could read a man's pulse just by watching the vein in his neck. Oliver, the muscle, loyal to a point of fault. Michael, the youngest, always laughing, always hopeful. And Jude, their leader. They lived by a code. When one eats, we all eat. When one rises, he lifts the others. They wore that promise like armor, but armor gets heavy when you are starving. One sweltering night, in a room that smelled of poverty and sweat, Michael broke. "The stone of riches," he whispered, "wealth that makes these politicians look like beggars." Festus warned them about the payment the forest demands. But Jude just stared into the candle flame. "Together," Jude said, "no one gets left behind." And just like that, the die was cast. They went to the old herbalist. He tied leather charms around their necks. "These charms feed on your bond," he told them. "As long as you are united, they will shield you. But the moment greed poisons your hearts, these charms will die, and the forest will feast." They entered the woods at dawn. 3 hours in, the ground began to pulse. Black vines erupted like oil, wrapping around their throats. But these vines didn't just squeeze. They whispered. They hissed secrets, shameful things, secrets that can poison the bond of brotherhood. They spoke the incantations, and the vines retreated. But when they stood up, they didn't look at each other. The bond wasn't broken yet, but the poison was in the blood, and doubt was crawling under their skin. Then came the leopard, a beast of smoke and bone, with eyes like forged coals. It growled, "Choose, one of you stays, or I choose for you." The beast began to count. 1, 2. They grabbed their charms, but the leather was cold, dead. Oliver charged with a blade. It hit nothing but smoke. Jude drew his gun, firing, but the bullet vanished into the mist. Then the silence came. 3. Jude looked at Oliver. Then he looked at his darkened charm. He realized the magic was gone. He lowered his gun. He stopped fighting. 4. The beast launched. Oliver's scream cut through the trees, a powerful roar. The leopard dragged Oliver into the abyss. And Jude just holstered his gun. He felt lighter. At the Black River, Michael saw the reflection, Oliver standing behind them with a twisted neck. Then the water exploded. 1,000 pale hands dragged Michael towards the silt. "Help me!" he screamed, clawing at the mud. Jude and Festus watched. They said the words, but the words were hollow. Jude watched Michael's fingers leave trails in the earth until the bubbles stopped rising. "It's just us now, brother," Festus whispered. "I'm sorry," Jude replied. "I tried." He didn't look back. The grove of eyes, 1,000 eyelids blinking on the trees. In the center, the stone, pulsing with a golden, sickening light. Festus wanted to take it back to the families, but Jude just laughed. "Their families didn't walk through hell. I did, I end this with their blood. 3 loud gunshots. Festus crumpled as Jude shot him 3 times. Jude grabbed the stone, his palms searing, his flesh burning. He didn't care. He had won. He returned to the village, a mansion on the hill. 30 days in a mansion on the hill, 30 days of elite parties and fine wine. Then the footsteps started. Thump, drag, thump, drag. 3 sets of wet feet up the stairs, stopping at his door. Every night, every mirror showed Oliver's fingers around his throat. Every sleep brought Michael's waterlogged lungs squelching in his ear. "Get away from me!" Jude ran into the street, firing at shadows. He didn't see the headlights. The car sent him flying. He was dead before he hit the ground. And in his hand, not a gem, just a jagged, bloody rock. The mansion still stands. If the wind is right, you can hear 4 voices, 3 of them singing, and one of them realizing that the stone didn't give him riches. It gave him exactly what he deserved. Thank you for joining me in the shadows. Hit that like button if you value your promises, and tell me in the comments, if the vines whispered to you, would you have lowered the gun? Until next time, stay watchful.